line would all face prostate cancer. Not from the same family, not from the same neighborhood, even, but from the same line of 12 brothers who pledged Alpha Phi Alpha at Zeta Pi chapter at the University of Georgia in 1976. Tonight, you'll hear from these four men, well, actually three, whose bond began as young men at the University of Georgia and decades later was tested by the same diagnosis. This is not a coincidence. However, it is a warning, and it's a conversation every man, especially men of color, needs to hear. This is If You Are My Brothers podcast. Stay with us. We'll be back in just a second.
So we have a confirmation with a second opinion that he definitely has prostate cancer.
Welcome to If You Are My Brothers, a podcast created to break the silence around prostate cancer. I'm Reggie Hicks, your host. And once again, Happy New Year. Still, we get to say that until probably another day or so. And welcome to our second episode of 2026. And we want to welcome everyone watching on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn Live, and to those listening on your favorite podcast platform. Now, before we begin, a quick reminder, as we always do, that this podcast is not a substitute for your medical team or your doctor. And some conversations may be of an adult nature, so we ask you to listen accordingly. And in all of your health matters, please consult your healthcare provider for regarding your health care decisions. Now, to learn more about the podcast and the If You Are My Brothers documentary and community engagement project, you can visit our website at ifyouaremybrothers.org. That's ifyouaremybrothers.org. In the meantime, we invite you to join the conversation in the chat. Ask questions, share comments. This is real life, and we are here for you. This is a conversation. So we want to interact. And even if you're listening later on the podcast, or maybe you're viewing this not in real time on YouTube, you can still hit us up at ifyouaremybrothers.org and reach out to us that way via email. Even you can leave a message, or you can hit us up on social media. Now, our guests tonight are some guys I know pretty well. I had the honor of being pledged by them almost 50 years ago as a lowly pledgee of Zeta Pi chapter of Alpha Phi Alpha at the University of Georgia. And I'm going to say it was the most pleasant experience of my college career, my college time. I just love being online, being pledged by these brothers and like 9 other of their cohorts. But seriously, I am speaking that, wasn't the best times, but we got through it as brotherhood and as brothers do. But tonight, as brotherhood, we share a special bond of prostate cancer and being prostate cancer survivors. And we're going to talk about our journey in just a few. I'd want to mention too that Brother Steve Benham was not able to join us this evening. He was actually the fourth one of the 4 out of the line, and we want to thank him for agreeing to come on, but he had another appointment, and we're going to have him on a future program. Now, as I bring on these 3 gentlemen, I'm going to let each one tell us a little bit about themselves. And first up, we got Frank, and as we called him, Frankie J. Purnell. And there he is. Frank, how you doing, man?
Hello. I'm doing good. Thank you.
Good. Now, Frank, what number were you on the line?
Number 4.
Number 4. Okay.
Yes,
And
that's a good number.
this is a good number. So tell us a little bit about who is Frankie J.
Well, I am now residing in Charlotte, North Carolina. I'm a retired IT professional. I'm a grandpa now,
All right.
a father,
Welcome to the club.
wife, and all that good stuff. Yeah. So I'm enjoying retired life right now. So
Okay.
that's about what I do every day. Get up and drink my coffee and figure out what else I need to do the rest of the day.
All right. And being on this podcast, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's
So
a
if
good one.
anything goes wrong being IT, between you and Eric, we should be okay.
That's true.
All
On
right,
my
right.
end.
Right. So thank you, Frankie, for coming on. And next we've got Tony T. Liggett, the purveyor of fine wine and beautiful women. You thought I
You
forgot
you
that, didn't
remember that, huh?
you? Yeah, you beat it into me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm
No,
just
no.
joking. I'm just
I
joking.
just wanted you to get the point. That's all.
Yes,
That's
yes,
all.
yes. I
Yeah.
definitely got the point. Don't doubt about
All
it.
right.
So
Yeah.
T, tell us a little bit about in our audience who you are and what you're doing and what's happening with you.
Well, again, my name is Tony Liggett, and as you heard, a lot of my good friends call me T. I'm from Columbus, Georgia, actually Fort Benning, Georgia. My dad was Army, and I'm an Army brat. Now live in Sterling, Virginia. Like my other line brothers, I'm an IT professional. Spent 11 years in the Air Force in IT, worked for Sprint, former Sprint, and then BAE Systems, all in IT. I'm semi retired now. I have started my own business. I do remote bookkeeping. Got several clients. Have a passion for nonprofits and churches. Who, especially small churches, who could use some help. So that's what I'm up to these days, and I actually enjoying myself quite immensely doing that.
Good, and we got my organization on your list of soon to be clients. See, I ain't
Great,
forgotten about that, right?
good to have you. Good to have you. Yep.
Yeah, thanks, T. And finally, last but not least, we're gonna bring on our number one guest on the If You Are My Brothers podcast, and that is Eric Chaney. And I say Chaney because that's what we all call him, Chaney.
Yes.
Hey,
How you
Eric,
doing, Reg? What's going on?
good good to see you again, man.
I enjoyed that what you said about about being the I3. You had a great time. Did you?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'll give a disclaimer later, but
After we're
I
off,
think
is that correct?
I right. I figured you all get a kick out of that.
Oh,
Oh,
hey,
I did. I was laughing.
you keep it up, Reggie. And we can tell some stories about you too now.
Well, that's true.
That's
That's true. That's
right.
right. Look, we're gonna call it detente. Everybody's gonna stay in their corner, not launch any missiles.
All right.
Well, we want to welcome you guys. I guess we could say you're right, 1/4 of the Tenacious 12.
Yeah.
So we thank you for being here and for being a part of this discussion. And as we get started, let's go back in time a little bit and take us back to 76, 1976. And what do you remember about pledging together as part of that line of 12? What I'm going to sort of get your memories going here and then we can go into
Okay.
some other questions. But what's the most memorable part of being, one of the Tenacious
Hmm.
12? And Eric, we'll start with you.
You want to start with me? I was going to say
Yeah.
let Tony go first because I'm always talking.
Okay, go ahead, T.
Go ahead, Tony.
Me, I I don't have any brothers. I have three sisters, and I'm the baby. So I think I grew up kind of spoiled. My mom and dad were glad to have that boy, and I was the baby boy. So getting online, I got online. I pledged for all the wrong reasons. I think I pledged because I thought it was cool. But then throughout that process, you know, started off with 15, ended up with 12. We became close. I mean, I don't know what it's like to have a blood brother, but I know I have 11 or 10 other brothers. One of our
Mhm.
line brothers has passed. But it was the most rewarding thing. And I'm sure Eric has told you, we have Zoom calls at least once a
Yeah.
quarter, probably more often, that we just connect, talk about things. We've got our 50-year anniversary coming up,
Oh.
and we've got big plans for that. We're gonna all get together for that. So um, the pledging experience at the University of Georgia, it was memorable. Um, things have changed quite a bit, and probably for the better. Honestly, I will say that. And Reggie, I'd like to say to you, I'm sorry. I
that's
I am
that's okay,
truly
man.
sorry. I
That's
am
okay.
truly sorry.
You
But
know,
yeah, I mean, that was my pledged experience for, and I'm sure that Frankie and Eric can add. I'm number two online, by the way,
right.
and you can't have a line without a number two. It's just a point before that. So,
Right.
and, and Mr. Math Eric can probably tell you that. So,
Right, right.
all right.
What about you, Frankie?
Well,
Or
I
Mr.
have.
Frank?
Well, no, it's Frankie J. That's what everybody knows me from college anyway,
Right.
from the line. Um, I have a younger brother, but I didn't have any older brothers, and he was 9 years younger than me. So
Oh, wow.
uh, finding some young men that were close to my age, and we had some of the similar values and experiences, I guess, especially online, uh, was welcoming to me. Uh, I think I'm like Tony. I probably pledged a year earlier than I should have. I was a little young at the time, but it's worked out, And these are my brothers
Hmm.
for sure. And we need to tell the people in Richmond we're coming in May of 26. So the day two, type your dogs and everything else.
Yeah, lock down the city.
Yeah, yeah, we're gonna be there.
What about you, Eric? I'll let you go last here.
Um, just like Frankie, Tony was number two, Frankie was number four, I was number seven. I was blessed to be that on this. On this is one of the greatest lines to ever go over at the University of Georgia, and I don't say that modestly because uh, I think that what we did was something that was really more than special, and a large part. And I will say this too, without any modesty, that the T12 has really been a real influence as far as the Zeta Pi chapter down at the University of Georgia. It kind of it's helped to set some of the direction for what the chapter has done. Because I know a lot of times when we came in fired up, we came in wanting to make change, and we did help to institute a lot of change that occurred and making the chapter actually take off and soar from that point. But to back to our beginning, I remember when we had FAMU, we were having parties, and that was opportunity for all of us to get to know each other, and it just things just it just grew. We had it's just like even being in fraternity, we had our internal fighting when we were online and everything, but that's what actually made us come together as real brothers. And I mean, just like what Tony was saying, we're here 50 years later and we're still together. And I will also say this: at our 50th reunion for the chapter, we were the only line that was there altogether, other than our brother that's deceased, which was Larry. We were the only one that all of us that came back together to celebrate the 50th reunion for the actual chapter at the University of Georgia. So, yeah, I love all these. Hey, I only have one blood brother, and he's not deceased. But these are my brothers. These are my 10, and I'll do anything for them. That's the bond that we've established.
Yeah, and I think that I think Frankie or T, one of you mentioned the fact that, and it might have been you, Eric, that really that bond is, I think, the basis for how involved the alumni of the Zeta Pi chapter. You know, you got graduate chapters, right, made up of older brothers, and they're all from different chapters where they pledged as undergrads. But I really can't think of another situation where you have brothers that have, become alumni brothers, and we've got an organization, nonprofit organization, raising money for the Larry Leroy Golden Scholarship Fund. That was the frat brother of the T12 that passed when we were there. And I think that, yeah, it's you all were the core to kind of keep everybody together. I mean, to the point where now we have the list serve, and now we, we meet and do those kinds of things. Which I don't think for most when they leave undergrad, man, they're gone, or they may go to a graduate chapter. Um, so y'all do have a very special bond. There's no doubt about it. Um, Maybe not as tight as the I-3, but no, I'm just kidding, which is my line. But we kind of morphed into you all's line too. I
Really,
mean,
I was going to
think
say
about it.
that. Yes,
Yeah,
I was going to say that.
yeah,
I
we
was
kind
really
of
going to say
morphed,
that.
and you all let us in. I mean, you didn't let nobody else in, so we appreciate that. Um, but yeah,
And
it was
Reggie,
quite an
can I say
experience.
something? Can I say
Yeah.
something to that about the Zeta Pi Alumni Association? I remember, and I don't know if Tony, if you and Frankie, you may not have been there. It was the 25th reunion that we had, and it was James, myself, I forgot who else, Hamilton Holmes, and it was somebody else. It was the four of us, and we had kind of like just bounced the idea around because what we wanted to do was to create an organization that was going to be there to support the local chapter. That
Right.
was the initial idea, and we really didn't. We weren't looking for it to actually grow and be real big, and
Hmm.
just do those three basic functions. And it's gone from that to what you have today.
Yeah.
Because everybody's actually bought into it, and the thing is, it was almost like a situation that we were looking at. Uh, our chapter is sitting on a predominantly white campus, and a lot of the fraternities that are there have the support of their alumni. So we were looking at, there's no reason why we can't do the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, and then we,
And
like I said, we just started it on a small basis, but now it is, and I hate to use the word, but metastasized, but it has grown to where it is today.
yeah. And
And now
what's
we're
the
doing a lot of different things.
what's the total now in the scholarship fund?
It's roughly right at $350,000, and
Yeah.
that's
Wow.
actual cash dollars.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah. So it's been quite a ride, and we've been through a lot together, and all of us on this call have also been through prostate cancer. So that obviously brings us together in a different vein. And so I'm gonna shift a little bit. I wanted to hear from each one of you about, I don't know who was diagnosed first, but what went through your mind. And I always ask brothers who come on who are survivors, when you heard the words "you have prostate cancer," what and Tony, I'm going to start with you this time, or again.
They got him, Richard. They got him on mute.
Oh, so can you unmute, Tony? Uh,
I'm not sure how to.
there you
Oh,
go.
there we
We
go.
got
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. I was diagnosed in 2023. Um, and the way I was diagnosed uh, is a blessing. I had cervical spine issue going on to the point where I couldn't walk. It started off with me stumbling around and trying to walk. So, but it during the treatment and diagnosis of my spinal condition, my family doctor did a PSA test,
Hmm.
and just so happened my PSA was 20.
Oh.
And then just maybe 3 or 4 years earlier, it was 1 or 2. So that triggered the alarm. Went to a um, oncologist, had the samples taken, and it was confirmed that not only did I have prostate cancer, but I had very aggressive prostate cancer. But after taking a PSMA test, it
Hmm.
determined it had not spread.
Hmm.
And because I was diagnosed, it was aggressive but had not spread. That made the treatments um, much more viable, much more likely to succeed. So if it weren't for the spinal issue that I had, my prostate cancer might have gone unnoticed for a couple of years until it had spread.
Hmm.
And so
So
I
How did you find out? Did he call you, or were you in the office, or?
He told he called me and told me about my PSA that it is 20. I needed to go make an appointment with an oncologist,
Mhm,
medical oncologist to check that out. Went to and one of the things really am blessed is in the Washington D.C. area. Um, Not only do we have some of the best medical doctors and medical facilities around, but the facilities and the doctors are top notch. You've got Georgetown. I'm a big on teaching hospitals.
mhm,
Um, by just by their nature, they have to stay up on the latest. Johns Hopkins is just around the corner. I actually had them look at my look at my records and see if what they saw agreed with what my doctors locally saw, and they confirmed it. When my treatment that I was deciding on was recommended to me, I got a second opinion from a specialist at Georgetown who confirmed that he would have recommended the same treatment. Um, and that's something I would always tell you too is just
get
get
'em,
more than
yeah,
one opinion.
right, right.
um,
So was there a
so
definitive moment in that? I mean, so you I know you went out and you seek some other, which is great, getting a
mhm.
second opinion. But was there a moment where that you went through the test and the doctor said to you, you now have prostate cancer?
Mhm.
Do you remember that moment
I do,
for the first time?
and for some reason, Reggie, I was not worried.
Mm,
So it didn't like hit me. It didn't floor me. It
mhm,
floored the people around me.
mhm.
Floored
Yeah,
my wife, my two daughters. But I was filled with, I'm gonna be all right. I'm not going anywhere. Feeling, and I've always felt that way. Um, so, but was a call to action.
mhm,
It was not just sit back and wish. It was what's my plan? How am
right.
I going to address this? I'm a research person. You tell me something, and I'm going to probably dig and know more facts than you know.
Right, you're right,
um,
right. And come
and
into the situation with questions too.
come in
That's
there with
yeah,
questions, yes,
yeah.
and not being led, but being tell me your plans. Let me mull over your plans and see how they fit with what I've
What
discovered.
you go, yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not just going to be led and do what the doctor said just because the doctor said it.
Right, right. Yeah.
And my choice of doctors, I researched each one. I looked to find out which of the doctors had done research, published research. I mean,
Mhm.
which ones had been invited to symposiums to speak on the topic. Uh, I looked at all those things before I decided on doctors, and I think I got some of the top notch in the area.
Yeah, I was
Mhm.
telling somebody yesterday, I was in a meeting about my initial oncologist, who was the one that, I was in the exam room, and he told me that I had prostate cancer, and that's what you see at the beginning of the podcast is when he tells me that, and
Mhm.
then we were rolling like real time. But when I decided on my treatment, which was to have it removed robotically, I went and looked at researched all the doctors, how many,
How many
surgeries had
operations
they
they
done,
performed?
yeah,
Yep.
and now my oncologist that I had was just starting to learn,
Mhm.
and so so I was like, "Okay, well, I appreciate you getting me up to this point, but I
Mhm.
gotta move on." I don't think he didn't like it too much, but,
Right.
yeah, it was kinda like, "Oh, okay." But yeah, you gotta be your own advocate. There's no doubt about that.
Absolutely.
What about you, Frankie? Do you
Well, I
remember
think,
that moment?
y- yeah, I do. I guess my PSA was going up, and they wanted to do a new test. It's EXODX, which is a urine test.
Mhm. And
And
Frank, you got
uh,
I think there's some scraping or something, your microphone. I Can't.
There we go. How's that? It's my
There
beard.
we go.
Probably was
Yeah,
my
yeah,
beard.
yeah.
It was
Yeah,
scraping on
yeah.
my beard there.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, okay. Yeah.
So that's a new test. At least it was back then, and that was
Mhm.
in 2023. So I was
Okay.
right behind, probably behind uh, Tony on that.
Mhm.
Um, and it came back, and they said that I could probably be in active surveillance for a while
Mhm.
because it didn't. I was in an acceptable range or a low grade or whatever the range was. And so we decided we would just be in active surveillance for a while. As it continued to go up, he decided to do a biopsy,
Mhm.
and this was in 24, I believe. And it came back and confirmed that I did have some of the nodule. I think they took 12 samples,
Mhm.
and
Right.
some of them did come back that way. But he said you still probably can do active surveillance. We'll keep on looking at you for we'll do the PSA, we'll do the D was it the DRE.
Mhm. Yeah, right.
Yeah, and and we'll just keep you under surveillance. When I did get the second biopsy, that's when things started moving in motion. They said that it had gotten a little more aggressive, and
Mhm.
I needed to make a decision pretty soon. So I actually called Tony because I knew he had gone through some of that process to get some information, and like Tony, he sent me booklets of stuff,
Right.
links to links to all kind of
Links.
websites and things of that nature. I did some research on my own, and we decided that we would do the radiation.
Mhm.
And my wife was in the room with me at the same time, so we had talked about it, and we decided that was the way we were going to go.
Okay.
And so
So you
that's
remember, yeah, my wife cried. I mean, she was I knew, and I tell the story all the time, and people on the podcast know, that when my doctor came in, he had a big old folder under his arm. And I knew then that something that I was positive because in that folder, and I had seen this before because he was the doctor, he was Ralph's doctor. And so I had been, in that office 100 times, and I knew that in that folder were going to be like information about, different treatment options. Because normally if it's not if if you have a normal biopsy, you'll have one sheet of paper and say, hey, well, we didn't find anything here or there. Maybe he won't even bring a paper in. But when he had that folder, I was like, oh. So I had about 30 seconds to prepare myself. But even when he said it, I just after that, I didn't hear anything else other than, my wife paid a lot more attention to it. I was just kind of in a daze, even though I knew what was coming. So you were
yeah.
your wife was with you, Frank, when you got there? I mean, when you got
Yes,
the
yes.
diagnosis?
We did that as a team. We had decided and did our research, and for me and my type of prostate cancer, I guess, was recommended to do the radiation, and that's what we did.
Okay.
Now, my father had prostate cancer.
Mm.
So I was kind of, I had been doing testing,
Hmm.
going to the doctor on a regular basis, getting my PSAs, and they were normally low. It's just that all of a sudden it jumped. And so we've been keeping an eye on it. I remember when my dad was down, he came to visit, and
Hmm.
he wasn't feeling good. And I said, "Well, when's the last time you been to the doctor?" He said, "About 10 years ago."
Oh no.
So we decided to get him to in to see my primary physician, and
Right.
he found some issues and told him to follow up when he got back home. So this has been part of my psyche, I guess, for a long time.
Yeah. Yeah. So you've been on it. What was your PSA when you were diagnosed? You remember?
It was 3.4,
Hmm.
so it's low. But
Right.
I had some other issues, so I'm kind of a different issue or a different type of cancer, I guess, or I'd already had another tumor before
Hmm.
somewhere else. So I was kind of expecting something to happen.
You're right.
But
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Did
But
did anybody else have a history? Because I know my dad didn't. have, well, I don't know, he was in his 80s when he passed from something else, but they say you have it even if you live long enough. But he didn't die from it, but did or wasn't treated for it. But did anybody else, T or Eric, did you all have prostate cancer in your family that you knew of?
To my knowledge, I'm the first male in my family that has had it. So
And to my knowledge, I'm the first. Now, both my mother and father both died of cancer, but it was different cancers. My father had colon, and then my mother died of breast cancer. So.
Now, Eric, we have been following your situation because you've been on a couple of times.
Mhm.
So where are you now in the process?
All right, I've had now my second biopsy with another urologist. I chose to like everybody else. I got a second opinion to go look at it. With one of the top urologists here, right here in Atlanta.
Mhm.
He basically took the same approach of actually going out and doing a biopsy. Got back the results. It looks like there has been some progress from the last time that I had actual biopsy. And we went over and we discussed the actual sections of the 10 samples that he took. Cancer was found in two of them. And he gave me the Gleason scores as it related to those two samples. And basically, he says, you need to move now from active surveillance to actually going ahead and looking at doing something.
Okay.
mhm.
So I made an appointment with the radiologist with Kaiser Permanente, and we went over all of the actual options. And I too am going to go ahead and do the actual radiology. Now I'm scheduled for another MRI in March 15th to be
Mhm.
exact. At that particular point, I'm also supposed to go through a PET scan and then subsequently after that do a PSA and then sit down with my radiologist and figure out the actual schedule when we are actually going to do it. Now, I think Frank, if you might be able to espouse with me on this one. He said that it was going to be anywhere from 20 to 28 days, and I think it's Monday through Friday, and it's roughly about 15 to 20 minutes per session.
Yeah. When I went through it, I think it was more. It was more than that. I think it's 30 something days.
Mhm.
And you get the weekends off.
Right, the
I had a
weekends.
holiday in between, and
Right, right.
then I had some kidney stones in between too, which kind of
Oh,
messed up a couple of days of
yeah.
therapy.
Okay.
But yeah, and it's not that bad. We would go in, we had the badge in, and they'd have a little waiting room. We have 3 or 4 people in there waiting to do their treatment, and
Hmm.
it was a pretty good same people every day because you go at the same time, so it was a nice little another little fraternity of people that we talk every day in between, and then they take off and do theirs, and we'd see them as they go out the door.
Right.
So I am when I met when I once I was diagnosed and trying to decide on the course of treatment, they scheduled me for meet 3 doctors, 15 minutes each, back to back.
Mm.
Hmm.
I met with my urologist, who told me about all the pros and cons of removal
Mhm.
surgery.
Hmm.
Then I met with radiation oncologists who told me the pros and cons of radiation and how they would treat it.
Hmm.
And then I had a medical oncologist who I probably would have seen either way about follow on after those one of those two treatments. So
Right.
and based upon that, I too chose radiation.
Mhm.
Um, I know not as little as 5, maybe 10 years ago, you didn't want radiation.
Right.
Right.
uh,
Yeah.
it was dicey,
Yeah.
and not because they didn't have the abilities to aim and confine it, and sometimes you could get your rectum burned.
Mhm.
It will
Your
not
bladder.
heal.
Yeah. Yeah.
But nowadays, in the last 5 years or so, it's so precise.
Hmm.
We talked about robotics doing the surgery. Well, you've got robotics controlling the radiation now. Um, precisely to the point where they're hitting where they want to hit,
Mhm.
and nothing else, which is the big thing. Big
Right.
thing. So I went through the 4 weeks of low level IMRT radiation, followed with, and that was 5 days a week. Um, really took like 5 minutes total.
Mhm.
Took and then followed it up with something called Cyberknife, which is
Yeah.
very high level, but only 3 sessions of that. And some people do the seed technology
Right.
therapy.
Yeah, seed implant, yeah,
I
radiation
decided on
seeds.
the Cyberknife. It was a replacement for the seeds. So that's where I am. And I just finished 2 years of my medical oncology, where I was taking testosterone deprivation medicine
Mhm.
because prostate cancer feeds on testosterone.
Yep.
Yes.
Yeah.
um, so I've been a year off of that. My PSA is still undetectable right now.
Oh,
Um,
Excellent.
wonderful.
and my
Wonderful.
testosterone is recovering.
Yeah.
So Miriam,
Excellent.
watch out.
Yeah. And Miriam is Tony's wife, not his girlfriend.
not,
All
not
of
my
us
girl.
went to school together.
Yeah.
Yep, yep, yep.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
wife and girlfriend. How about that? Yeah.
Well,
Yeah. Yeah.
my wife and my girlfriend live
There
here,
you go.
so
Right. Right. Right.
sometimes they fight. I don't know why two grown women can't just get along.
Well,
Well,
you
so
are the
which
purveyor. Look,
Say, Tony, what's wrong with him, man? What's wrong with him?
What's wrong? Why is that, man?
why is that? Right. 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 Why can't we just all get along?
Can't we all just get along? But yeah, it's been. I'm very satisfied with that decision. You look at the outcomes are about the same, whether
Mhm.
you have surgery, have it removed, or the radiation. It's the after effects that are different. And I decided to keep my prostate and go with the radiation, rather than some of the other side effects that you might have from removal.
Right. Right. And they are.
there's some side
So,
effects.
well,
Well, nice way to put it.
yeah.
My goodness.
You weren't ready to go into that part yet,
Well,
but
Yeah.
I had one urologist said, well, we don't, I don't really call them side effects. We just call them like challenges. I was like, yeah, well, I got some challenges. Let me tell you. But, but so as we talk about that, and challenges, what would you all consider? Oh, first of all, so Frank, what about you? Where are you now in your PSA and how are you doing now?
it's pretty much undetectable. I didn't have to go through that the chemical
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, the
situation.
hormone.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Hmm.
because I already had low T, so I didn't have to do that. But yeah, so this is undetectable, and which is really good. They said they were going to do some kind of a test to which is higher quality. They test even lower, to see actually where it was, but it was like a 0.28 or something, or
Yeah.
yeah.
How do
So
you
it's
all, I know for me, because of course I had mine removed and then 12 years later I had what they call a biochemical reoccurrence, which is nice to say, your prostate cancer is back, sort of, because without a prostate, my PSA shouldn't be going up, and it was.
Mhm.
And so they treated the prostate bed with radiation. But every 3 months or so, I got to go and get my PSA.
Mhm.
What is that like for y'all when you're waiting? Because I know for me, let me tell you, the first time I went in, because we actually go in and have an appointment. They take your blood. They actually do your PSA while you're there. It takes about 12
mm,
minutes. The
mm.
first time I went, I followed the nurse into the room where they they tested. She looked around. She said, "Are you following me?" I was like, "Yeah, because I want to.
I
I want
want
to
I
know.
want to
I
know.
want to know
No,
what you
no.
know. I don't want you to come back in the in the exam room." And so I said, "Has anybody ever done that before?" She said, "No, you are the first person that's ever like followed me in here to get." But I was on edge, man. Let me tell you.
Yeah, man.
So I know for me, I kind of it's a little get a little anxious, What about y'all?
Same here.
Yeah.
The last one I did before. I'm trying to remember when it was. I'm trying to was it that I did the PSA after the biopsy or was before? I think no, it was before I did the biopsy. Because my PSA has been going up and down.
Mm-hmm.
And the
Mhm.
last time you and I talked, Reggie, it was back in the normal range, but now it's back up to 7. So kind of like the data points are kind of like slowly, gradually going up. But
Mm-hmm.
man, after I did that blood test, and Kaiser will electronically send the stuff to you, and you go look at it in your profile. I,
Right. In the
I
portal.
was dreading the email coming in. I said, I know the email's coming. And then finally, when it popped up, I was like, okay, I'm sitting right here in my office right now. I
Yeah.
sat here for about 20 minutes before I went to open the mail up.
Mhm.
I
That my
started, I
chart
started
thing, man,
praying.
it's
I
a
said, Lord,
mess.
okay,
My
whatever this
chart.
is, I got to
Yep.
deal with this.
Yeah, you get it before, um,
Yep.
before even the doctor gets to tell you what it means.
Yeah.
And
Right.
that's a little unnerving, I think, for most. But one thing I did think about, I said, whatever it is, it's an indication that if something is going on, I have a much better chance of being able to take care of it if it's early
Right.
and
Right.
not late.
Yep.
Right.
So
My most recent test was maybe 2 weeks ago, and that was still undetectable, but my PSA is recovering. I mean, my testosterone is recovering.
recovering. Yeah.
And what my doctor told me was I could probably expect my PSA won't stay undetectable, but it should naturally start rising to point something, point
Yeah.
five,
Right.
point two,
Yeah.
and maybe even into the 1 or 2, as it kind of rises back to and stabilizes.
Hmm.
She said, but what she'll be looking for is any big jumps. She did mention it's going to go up, probably up and down
Yeah. The
a little
radiation
bit.
does it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Hmm.
but if it takes a big jump, um,
Right.
then's when you start worrying, that what's making it jump, you
Right.
know,
Right.
and
Right.
you have to do some more investigation there. But it's been, I've been off the medications for over a year. It's still looking good. I found out that the medication, they call it chemical castration,
Mhm.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
and
That's
I didn't know. I really did not know this, but like as early as the 80s, one of the treatments was actual castration.
castration.
Yes.
Oh wow. I
Okay.
didn't
All
know
right.
that.
All right,
Yes.
boys and
So
girls.
that's why
It's
they
like,
call the
ouch.
medication chemical castration.
Right. Oh my
Much
goodness.
I,
easier.
yeah, and I
Yeah.
mean the 80s, we were in
Yeah.
VGA in the 70s.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Okay.
Wasn't that long
wasn't
ago.
that long ago. That's why the advancements that they've made
The
in the
jumping.
treatment of prostate cancer has just jumped leaps and bounds.
Yeah. Even
And
even when if it metastasized, you've got so many more. I mean, the advances on that end have just leaped
mhm,
beyond. I mean, we have the normal that most of the treatments are the same when you catch it early for the most part, but even when it's metastasized, there's like a ton of different treatments and stuff you can do that really keep it down. You can
Mhm.
manage it, which I
Right.
think we had one doctor on says it's all about managing it. So as we kind of get through this, I know we don't have all night, so I know y'all need to get back. You need to go. You're getting old, so you're gonna
Mhm.
have to go to bed.
mhm.
What were the biggest challenges you faced physically, mentally, emotionally? Who wants to take that?
Mine were the challenges, the
Hmm.
main challenges of urgency and urgency and urgency.
Yep.
I had to plan my day, had to plan my trips. I had to plan being around the house.
Hmm.
Didn't want to be too far away from the bathroom. Um, and if I did go somewhere, I had to take something with me or put something on, and that was a challenge
Hmm.
to me anyway.
How was that emotionally, physical? I mean, what about
Well, I
your
got
your
grandkids where Pampers,
Right, right.
and stuff, So Grandpa got them on too, It's like,
Right.
Mhm.
yeah, so that's that's where that was, It was it's just it's different, but
Hmm.
that was a choice I took, I guess, and I determined which ones I needed. They have a lot of them on the market, so now I've gone through a few of them and figured out
Hmm.
which ones
Right.
fit good and which ones will get you to the bathroom on time.
Yeah.
Right. We actually going to do a show on pads
Okay,
because that is
yeah,
a big deal. Let me
it
tell let
is.
me tell you
Yeah,
this.
it
Getting
is.
the right one
Mhm.
is and I've been wearing them for, for a while. So and I've gone through a number of them, but I finally got to a point where I was like, okay, this one will
Hey,
work.
this works. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
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 T, what about you, man? What's been the
So that
physical,
was
mental challenge?
that physical challenge produces some mental challenges.
Hmm.
It's mine was getting up 5 times a night to go to the bathroom. It started off that way. Um, and like Frank said, you had to plan. You can't, um, you know, when I was gonna drink something and when I wasn't, because if I was gonna drink, I couldn't go out. I when I say drink, I don't mean alcohol. I mean liquids.
Yeah, right, right.
um, you had to be close to home or close to getting to where you're going, so because you know you're gonna have to go to the bathroom when you get there.
Right.
And I've worn the Pampers and or the men's briefs.
Hmm.
I've graduated now. I've got incontinence underwear.
Okay.
So, um, but every now and then, something hit. You get in a situation you just can't contain it. That's happened to me once or twice, and thankfully not in public, but at home. And that's a challenge. It wears on you mentally,
Yeah,
um,
yeah.
that way.
y- you
Um,
know
so
you know how people like who've been in school shootings and things like that, they're traumatized to the point where if they go in
Hmm.
any room, they're looking at the exits. Where are the
mhm,
exits? Well,
right.
I'm like that with the bathroom. Where are the
Yeah,
bathrooms?
scope them
i'll,
out when you get
I'll
there.
Yeah.
close
Yep.
them out to the bathroom. If I
Mhm.
go into a Starbucks and I got, I'm gonna work, I'm gonna sit close to the bathroom, and I want to know. I'm gonna tell you something that happened to me. The worst thing in the world is having to get up, go to the bathroom, and forget the code that they've given you to get into the bathroom. And I tell them all the time, why
OMG.
y'all got like 5 or 6 digits for to get in the bathroom, man? I'm an old person. I can't remember, can't be
Yeah.
remember. And I'm in a hurry too, and I'm punching the thing, and it keeps going red. And
And you got to punch the numbers together.
Yeah.
oh
Yeah.
man, let me tell you
Well,
that is a
yeah, Miriam knows when we go to either go to church or the movies, I got to sit on the end seat.
yep, that's
I can't
right,
Hmm.
I can't be
right.
caught inside people.
Nope.
Inside. Got to
Mhm.
I'm on
sit
a
on the end
plane,
seat
I'm on the aisle. Put me on
on the
the if I'm
aisle.
not on the aisle, I
Mhm.
tell them, I say, hey, I'm in the window, so I'm just gonna tell you now. And I tell people point blank, I am a man without a prostate. So, you can take that for what it means, but if you want to give up the aisle seat and you want to sleep on this flight, you might want to you might want to let me sit there.
Yeah.
What about now, Eric? I know you have a lot to think about as you hear us talk. What's on your mind about this whole thing? Are you worried about any of the challenges, or
No,
kind of what's happening? Because you and I talk all the time. So
I think at this particular point, I mean, I got the support of all you guys plus your organization, and then I've been talking to a whole lot of other brothers. Um, at this particular point in my life, it's just I'm looking at it just like anything else. I mean, we're all getting older. There are other issues more than just this that we have to deal with. It's just something else that just I'll just have to carry on, just have to carry. I mean,
mhm.
if it's if it means I got to sit close to a bathroom in order to be all right, well, guess what? I just set my chair right there next to the bathroom or
Right.
whatever's necessary that we got to do. So that was one of the things too when I talked to the oncologist and we talked about the pros and cons of each of the actual treatments. And that's when I chose the radiation, and he was, I mean, but all of them come with incontinence. So that's just one of the things that's just gonna have to deal with. So,
Yeah.
I mean,
So
and like I said,
A
No, I
piece
was
of
gonna.
advice my cousin told me. I was asking him, well, what's some good advice? You know, because he had gone through it. He said, well,
Right.
he said, go to the bathroom when you get there, and go to the
Mhm.
bathroom before you
Bathroom
leave.
when
Before
you
you
Before
leave.
leave.
you leave.
Yeah, don't don't
And
That's
that's
don't
it.
right.
try don't try to
Don't try to hold nothing.
don't
Right,
try
Right.
to
right.
hold nothing. Yeah.
Because you ain't gonna be able to do it. That's what.
Right,
That's
right.
what.
You won't make it.
So,
Look, I
look,
always say and it seems like when I have to go and then I don't have to go, but as I get closer to the house, I have to go, and then
Harder.
the psychological, right? And I tell my wife, I said, "Look, I'm coming in hot, so get the dog out the way, clear a path,
Yeah.
just
get out
I'm
the
making a
way. Right.
beeline, right? I'm
And,
throwing,
and,
backpacks off me, and just say
right.
I got to
Hey,
get there
guys,
now."
y'all all know. I'm at this age now that at 2 o'clock in the morning, I don't care what's going on with me in the bed. I'm getting up and going to the bathroom. That's now.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm doing that now. So I'm saying to myself, well, there may be more instances of me being having to go to the bathroom. Okay, well then we'll just do that.
well,
We'll just do it.
just do it. Yeah, yeah. Now, I got a couple more questions before we go. I do have to ask you about the other challenge. You can talk about it if you want. I do all the time, and that is the two letters that no man wants to hear, and that's ED. So, I know for me that's been a challenge, boy. I tell you, um, there are things you can do, and I've tried them all, and some have worked, and some kind of worked, and some didn't. Um, but what is that an issue, or is that something, Eric, you're worried about, or do you all want to talk about it? Because
I,
I don't.
I think about it, but I'm in a particular position right now. Let's take care of one thing at a time. Let's get rid of this, and then
Right.
we'll work on that.
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
know, because you said something to me that was when I first got diagnosed, which was 2 years ago. Um, Reggie, when I called you,
Mhm.
you told me that you can get off the ledge. You nothing finna happen. Ain't nothing finna happen to you. That the most important thing is making sure that I'm here first,
Right.
Mhm.
Right.
because medical there's enough medical uh, techniques and stuff now to deal with that particular issue. But the most important thing is making sure that I'm whole as far as my health is concerned. I don't have any cancer issues to deal with, and then I can deal with the other stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's the attitude
Yeah.
that I'm taking going into this, because
Yeah.
hey, I've been through just about everything else. Guys, I don't know if you knew this 2 years ago. Well, in 24, I'm 9 days before my birthday, I almost died because I was hospitalized with a kidney stone that had
Mhm.
got infected in my kidney, and
Mm.
it created septicemia in my body. I didn't know it.
Yeah.
Right? I was complaining of stomach aches, and went in there and found out that the doctor's telling me. He said, "Man, we did a CAT scan of you. And looks like your kidneys are failing." I'm like, "What? What are you talking about?"
Mm.
And then they come to find out that the uh, the kidney stone was lodged in my kidney, had infected
Mhm.
my bloodstream, and I had bacteremia, which was causing
Mm.
me to go to sepsis. So it was just a whole series of things. So I'm
Yeah.
saying, if I make it through that, and then I got to deal with this cancer diagnosis, it's just another thing that I'll just deal with.
Right.
Yeah.
And whatever
So
the
As
situation
I think I
is.
already alluded to that. My Gleason score was 9.9,
Mm-hmm.
and so I had aggressive form, but it had not spread. But my treatment was aggressive. So after the radiation, I've just finished 2 years of the
hormone therapy.
hormone
Hormone
therapy. Yeah,
therapy, right?
Mhm.
and that lowers your testosterone level to almost zero.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I mentioned that my testosterone level is starting to rise a little bit. So hopefully, you
Some
know,
other things around.
other things will rise. So
Good.
at least that's the hope. So
Yeah.
we'll see how that
Keep
works
hope
out.
alive.
Keep
That's
over.
But
right.
It was for me because I had mine removed, and I think even a surgeon that I had on the show, the last episode, actually, he was on to talk about it, not about me in particular, but I had no issues at all, and it was challenging for me when I thought it would come back. I thought it probably wouldn't be the same, but
hmm
I thought it would be more than it ended up being. And I think what happened to me was it was hard to kind of figure out what was going on until I went to this one doctor that kind of specialized in ED, and he did a test and he said, well, you only have 30% blood flow because of the operation. I mean, they try to spare the nerves and stuff like that.
Hmm.
And that was one of the reasons I was having issues. And so he kind of started to treat that, and it helped to a degree. But I think one of the things for me, the challenge of the ED part was being able to sit down and my wife and I discussing kind of where we are and what we could do and kind of getting and working through it. I mean, I didn't hide it. I mean, well, you can't hide it, but I did not try to say I don't want to do anything because I can't do what I used to.
Right.
And we kind of got to a point now where, it's great. I mean, I don't have any issues. I still have feeling and that kind of thing, but yeah, I think you really have to discuss it. And sometimes as men, we don't want to go there with
Right.
our spouses, which is kind of weird since, we spend all our time with them. But I didn't know whether or not was that a discussion that you all had with your significant others or going through this?
Yeah,
I
we've
think that
we've
go,
go
go
ahead,
ahead.
Frankie.
No, we had the
Oh, yeah, these are hard
conversation.
questions now. See,
Yeah, yeah,
that's why I ain't
it,
sent the questions
yeah,
to you.
I
yeah.
see. Yeah, no, I
Uh,
understand.
but we've been married almost 40 years, so
Yeah.
it's something that like I think it's something you said, life over libido.
Hmm.
It's
Hmm.
being alive is we can work the other stuff out.
Right.
It's
Right.
and that's what we're doing.
Yeah. Getting
Yeah,
to see the grandkids.
yeah,
That's
absolutely.
Absolutely
no.
right.
Let me tell you, man, that is no feeling like I got 9 pictures of my granddaughter today, and she's 4 months old, and posing for the camera and all of that, and I'm just I'm like, man, even if there was not the chemical, but even the other castration, I'd be happy that I
Right.
was here to see that.
That's
I
right.
mean, I just have to deal with it. I think Eric, that's your attitude, man. Whatever
Yes,
whatever
man.
happens,
I'm gonna deal with it.
I can deal with it, and I'm hoping that men who listen to this conversation, it's hard. It's hard to talk. I get it, but to understand that you can work through it because we remember Ralph and he's no longer here with us, and I think that isn't he was his what PSA was 100 when he found out.
Hmm.
Very aggressive. I mean, he was with us for 6 years after that, but we got to stay on this stuff. And no doubt about it. I want to ask here as we get ready to close. So just looking at the three of you now, what does survival and responsibility mean to you, like moving forward? What does moving forward look like from where you are?
I want to share. That's I shared your link with our family chat that we
Oh, I
have.
appreciate, yeah,
Mhm.
appreciate
Some
it.
of my cousins and things, and some other people to just kind of educate, let them know it's going to be okay,
Right.
and to reach out if they need to. Because that's why I reached out to Tony.
Hmm.
I didn't know about Steve. I didn't know about you, Reggie, either. I knew
Mm,
I knew about Ralph, but I didn't know
mhm.
about you. So
And
uh,
that's the surprising thing is we don't talk.
Right.
Reggie, you were talking. You were on this journey long before the three of us
Yeah.
even thought about prostate cancer. And I remember you used to always say, "Know your numbers."
mhm,
Know
Mhm.
that PSA. Um, Prostate cancer is probably one of the most curable
Yeah.
cancers there are if you treat it, um, early.
Mhm.
But we don't talk. Men don't talk. Since I've had was diagnosed, I found out three or four of my friends around here had prostate cancer and was kept it to themselves.
Mhm.
We just need to talk about it. We need to share some of these things like you're doing. Like I commend you for this journey that you've been on, and it's not it's something that God put in you to do. um,
Hmm.
and you make us all aware, and anything we can do to help you help spread the word. Just being on this podcast and putting directing people towards your website. That's what I'm committed to do now, is to talk about it and help others, and to get men to talk and to share.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. Well, guys, we're running out of time. So I just want to. Would you want to say something, Eric? I see
No,
you
no,
raise
I'm
your
just
hand.
gonna say
Oh,
ditto on what. Kudos to what Tony and Frank, they were right on point. Hey, just communicate. We got to talk. We got
right.
to. We got to stop closing up. We got to open up. We got to let it out. Let people know what's going on. And if
Absolutely.
it means
Absolutely.
us, us telling our story and you following us, whatever it takes.
Yeah. Well, this is a start and well, part of the process, not just a start, but part of the process. And I want to thank you all. We're gonna have you back so we can kind of check in. We got a lot to talk about, and maybe we can reminisce a little more. I'm gonna have to go over my notes and talk about it 50 years ago. But no, but but I thank y'all, and I'll be around and I'll be in touch, and we're gonna keep everybody in prayer, keep the faith.
Yeah.
We're gonna
Thank
all
you.
get through this together.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
Amen.
All right,
All
No
brothers.
right.
doubt.
All right,
Thanks,
Okay.
guys.
guys. All right.
All right.
I want to thank Eric and Tony and Frank for joining us. They are truly my brothers. And tonight you heard from three brothers who pledged together, lived together, and unexpectedly faced prostate cancer together. But their story reminds us rather that brotherhood doesn't end with college, and it can save lives. So if this conversation has helped you, share it with a brother, a father, son, friend. You can visit us at ifyouaremybrothers.org. That's ifyouaremybrothers.org to learn more about our our podcast series, and our community engagement work. If You Are My Brothers is a nonprofit 501c3 project of Straight Street Media dedicated to turning prostate cancer awareness into what we like to call health action. And ways of support are available, I think, Danny, on the screen. And also, if you're listening to us in the show notes, and you can make a contribution. And when you do make a contribution, you'll receive your very own If You Are My Brothers mug. I like doing this part here. Oh, let me do my Vanna White. There you go. And it's a commemorative mug, and it's just a thank you for supporting us. And we also want to thank the folks at Atlanta Brand Central for providing our very new bugs for us and for you. Now, you also will be entered into a drawing for a chance to win an original painting of our Everyman logo, we like to call it. That painting is a rendition of the logo by renowned artist Cecil Bernard. That drawing happens in a couple of weeks. And so we wanted to, hopefully, I thought it would be a great idea to hear from the man behind the painting. So I got to see if Danny, if Cecil is on or not. So yes, no, you let me know. Uh, okay, maybe not. All right. Well, Cecil is the man behind the painting. The painting is behind me. And we're going to be drawing for that. And I think the value is probably about over $10,000. It's an original. There's no other one like it. And if you have made a contribution, or if you send in your name and address, we got a couple of those in the mail actually yesterday, you'll be entered in the hopper to win that painting. And we want to thank you, Cecil, and hopefully he'll be joining us on the next show to talk about the painting and why he decided to support this effort. Now, the audio version of this podcast will be available next Wednesday, January 28th on Apple, Spotify, and all the major platforms. Past episodes are also archived on our YouTube channel. You can go there as well. Special thanks to our producer, Danny Garcia Pozo, and Zach Reynolds at Borkhouse Productions, who actually did our opening for us. Want to thank Zach for that. And remember, this podcast is not a replacement for medical advice. Always talk to your healthcare provider. Tune in for our next episode on Thursday, February 12th at 7 p.m. Eastern. And you can check out our website for all the episode updates. There'll be all the information there and guests and things like that. So until next time, if you are my brothers, you will share this message and know your numbers, as we said tonight. So take care, stay healthy. Peace.